Female fantasies, especially, are often kept private, and even now, when people are increasingly more open about sex, some are considered too risque to share. Crave sex with a stranger or being tied up? You are not alone. Here are the top 10 sexual fantasies women have but probably won't admit to. 10. The exchange of money. Whether it's a room full of men shoving PS20 notes in your knickers, or the literal exchange of money for sex becoming a sexual object, removes all emotion from the act, and, as a consequence, can be arousing. Rebecca Dakin, the great British sexpert and author of 101 Sex Tips, a guide to pleasing your man, explains, a paid sex fantasy is about exploring dominance and submission, which are both intriguing for many people. It's the stigma around sex work that makes this fantasy all the more appealing. 9. Taking control. Flipping the coin on domination and taking control is also a common fantasy. Enjoying both being dominant and dominated is known as being switch in the BDSM world, and goes to prove there are no hard and fast rules to our sexual imaginations. 8. Sex with a stranger. Sex with a total stranger is risque, daring, and a thrill. The reality? Probably more likely to give you an STD or bundled into the back of the van, but there's no harm in the thought of it. 7. Sex with someone you shouldn't. While most women follow a strict girl code when it comes to keeping your hands off your best friend's boyfriend, in reality, having sex with someone you shouldn't is a common fantasy, with 65% of women polled admitting to it according to the Journal of Sexual Medicine. Just don't tell your mate. 6. Authority figures. Who hasn't had a crush on at least one teacher? Why is it that ugly old men get the beautiful girls? It's all about power. It just does something to a woman. 5. Sex with a woman. Doesn't mean you are gay, but does mean you are in good company, with 42% of women listing it as one of their top fantasies according to the Journal of Sexual Medicine. Joe Hemmings adds, some types of sex feeds our curiosities, the theater of the mind if you like. So having girl-on-girl sex shows an inquiring mind rather than any covert yearnings to be gay. Group sex. Despite adult parties being increasingly more popular, most people never have the opportunity to try out this fantasy in real life and continue to enjoy the experience in their imagination. And, according to Rebecca Dakin, the group sex fantasy is particularly common among women who haven't had many sexual partners and have perhaps been in long-term relationships. 3. Role play. She wants to be Cleopatra, and you have to be Anthony in full regalia. Well, what you waiting for? Hail Caesar. 2. Being dominated. From being pinned down to the more extreme aspects of sexual domination, including BDSM and rape, domination is highly arousing for many women. But like many fantasies, this isn't necessarily a reflection of what they desire in real life. According to psychologist Joe Hemmings, there should be no confusion about the roles that we play in our everyday lives. It's a release from stress, the relinquishing of power, the sexual yin to the professional yang, if you like. 1. Sex in a public place or being watched. The adrenaline that comes from the fear of being caught to the arousal of watching others at their most exposed and intimate can, undoubtedly, be a turn-on. Similarly, the idea of hooking up with someone in a public place, with the risk of getting caught, can be exhilarating. And while many don't literally want to get caught with their proverbial pants down in the cold meat section of Sainsbury's, there's no harm in dreaming. So there you have it, our top 10 women's secret sexual fantasies that they don't want you to know. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and help our channel grow.